Hey YouTube world, we are back with another luxury unboxing. We've got some clothing, a pair of shoes, two different handbags, and these are focusing on indie brands that we may not cover as often as I completely think we should. And they are doing great stuff, you know, producing high quality pieces that we can actually wear year round, but really going into the summer. As you could probably tell, if you are a longtime subscriber, my background is different. So I am back in Chicago and I'm pretty excited because for the past couple weeks, I've been running around like a maniac, catching up with friends, you know, making my rounds to my usual shopping spots. So let's just get right into it because I really am excited to show you some of the pieces I picked up. First piece is what I'm wearing, which is perfect for the Chicago, you know, I feel like we don't get spring. It's just like one day it's 90 degrees, the other day is like 45 degrees. I'm freezing my ass off. So this is a perfect piece for me to incorporate into some of my outfits here. It's this wool jacket that I feel like I could wear to a dinner as well as, you know, a work trip that I have coming up. This piece is from Anine Bing. I actually picked this up a while back when I attended the Chicago sample sale with Anine Bing. And here in Chicago, we don't get a lot of sample sales. So when Anine Bing comes to town, we have to go. We as in me. But I was able to pick this piece up, which retails for about $400 to $500, I want to say. But I was able to pick this up in my particular size. This is a large for like $100. So I was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. And the quality is just phenomenal. I was wearing it when it was a little bit chilly, but then because this is wool, or at least part wool, I got super hot in this. So this piece actually keeps you relatively warm. It does have this really nice gold button detail where it's got the Anine Bing logo on there. So anytime a brand decides to come out with pieces and customize, make their hardware proprietary, I feel like it's just the attention to detail just makes it extra special. The second item I did pick up from the sample sale is a pair of sandals. As I'm picking up this pair of sandals, I could just smell the leather punching my face, and you know I love the smell of leather. These are kind of like very chunky sandals. So if you look at the bottom of the shoe here, you can see this is a fully leather piece. I do appreciate that. Retail, I think I want to say it's about $400 or $500 as well, but I was able to pick this up for $100. It's a fully leather pair of shoes. Like, you just don't see that nowadays. Majority of them out there, you know, whether it's Louis Vuitton or, you know, Gucci, when they make sneakers, there's still some form of plastic in there or some sort of rubber. This one is just straight up leather, and these are made in Mexico. So you don't see that quite often. And I know Anine Bing, majority of their items are made either in Turkey, Vietnam, China as well. But with this one, the craftsmanship on their shoes is just phenomenal. You can see it's a little bit, if you look at the style, you would say it's kind of gaudy, but I kind of like it because it's extremely special. You can see the Anine Bing logo stamped in metal on the side of the shoe and then embossed here as well. The sole of the shoe is incredibly soft. It's just mushy, very mushy, so very high quality in my opinion. If you like Birkenstocks, I think this is probably an elevated version. I don't care what you think about Birkenstocks. I freaking love Birkenstocks. They're so ugly, but they're so comfortable. So I want to say I own at least, throughout the history of my entire life, at least gone through 15 to 20 pairs of Birkenstocks. So if you think that you want something a little bit elevated than Birkenstocks, I think these are perfect. So I'll let you know how these wear and tear, but from the judge of the stitching and the craftsmanship, I think these are going to be fantastic. All right, two more pieces from Anine Bing. And honestly, like, I fell in love with everything and anything that Anine Bing comes out with. I want to say I was influenced very heavily by Beauty Luxe Lover because she is an Anine Bing fan as well. The more I see it, the more I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of my jam. I really like how she comes out with a lot of basic pieces and just, you know, things like this that can be mix and match and you can wear it for years to come. So if you, again, have been with me for a while, majority of the time when you see me wear a lot of different outfits, I usually pair it with some sort of black tank top underneath, whether it is a spaghetti strap or perhaps one of those high neck tank tops, which is one of my favorite things to wear. And I'll be honest, this one I am wearing that I found in my closet. It was just kind of a whatever day, I just threw it on. This one is from Forever 21. Remember those days where you bought a bunch of those tank tops and they were like $2 or maybe $2.50. I've worn this one so much. This is so embarrassing, but I'm gonna show you anyways. This is how much I wear tank tops. Look, it's got holes in there and I still wear it. Oh, not just one, there's 2 holes. So I figured, okay, it's time to retire these really beat up tank tops that aren't the highest quality. And usually when you spend $2, $3 on a tank top, they're probably made of polyester, right? So apparently in Chicagoland, Anine Bing came to town. They opened up a store in one of the malls in the suburbs, which when I was shopping with my mom, we went in there and they were doing a 20% off store wide. I decided to pick up not just one of these, the other one is in the wash, but you know I love these high neck tank tops, which are just incredibly versatile for you to mix and match and just wear as an undershirt. And you've seen me wear tank tops like this, where I just throw one of those off the shoulder sweaters, like the cashmere one from Quince. I also bought another one that's off the shoulder, and this one fits perfectly underneath. And if you get too warm, you just pluck it off and you still have a really nice tank top underneath instead of what may look like this one where it looks like an undershirt. The material on this one is 95% organic cotton and 5% spandex. So I figured for a piece like this that I would wear on a daily basis or very regular basis, it's nice to start upgrading some of these basics to higher quality material. I have a lot of these different tank tops that I bought from Marshall's, like, you know, for $10, $15. Yeah, the material, once you wash it a couple of times, yes, it's still workable. You're wearing it as an undershirt, but they start fading and they become incredibly like mushy. So it's not the most pleasant look. So I figure, you know, at 20% off, these basics from Anine Bing is usually, they sell out pretty quickly. So I'm pretty pumped about getting these and I highly encourage you to take a look at them. I would have paid full price and bought like 6 of them. I just want to make sure I like it a lot before I buy like 6 of them to interchange throughout the week. All right, this is the last Anine Bing piece, I promise you. I got this cap because it is, again, incredibly adorable. I also have like a massive head. My boyfriend likes to make fun of me as he like puts his hand on the top of my head and he's like, babe, you've got a watermelon head. It is unreal how big your head is, right? And incredibly round. So for me, it is incredibly hard for me to find a cap that fits my massive head. And of course, if I do my hair, it's a little bit extra poofy at the top and it adds even more volume. So I need to find caps that are much deeper, so the height or depth of the hat needs to be much more, you know, substantial in order for me to wear a cap very comfortably. So I bought one of these for myself and one of these for my mom. She originally was just like, nah, I don't need it. I have a lot of caps and she doesn't like to spend a lot of money on simple caps. And this is pretty simple, but it's got the cute Anine Bing logo on there. And I told her, I'm gonna get one for myself, so I want to buy you one as well. And so that way we can twin together. And she's like, okay, fine, you'll get it for me. And now we're basically twins. So I do wear this quite often as I'm out running errands. So I really like this hat. And it's very rare for me to find a hat that I really like. Before I go over the 2 different handbags I picked up, do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Also follow me on Instagram because I cover a lot of deals and steals that I find. It's gonna be curated. I'm not gonna inundate you with a bunch of different stories. I'm not a personal shopper. I kind of am. I like being a personal shopper, but I do it more for like, hey, I want you to get this deal. But any case, follow me on Instagram. I post it directly on my stories. Sometimes if I have enough time to make it a little bit more pretty, I'll post it on the YouTube community page. And if you aren't subscribed, you won't be able to see those deals. Again, like I said, it's gonna be very curated. So definitely pay attention to the stories I upload. If you are new, do drop me a comment down below. Let me know you are new here so that I can welcome you to my channel. For those of you who are returning, I'm glad you're here. Let's spend some time talking about frivolous things and have a conversation. I rely on you every single week to interact with me because, like I said, my boyfriend does not want to hear about this. So going on to the bags. The first one I picked up is from Last Chance, and this is from MZ Wallace. It is a model that they still have on their website, but I did pick it up from Last Chance when I was, again, making my rounds. And for those of you who are not familiar with Last Chance, there are only 2 in the US. The first one is here in Chicago and like the suburbs of Chicago. The second one is in Arizona, I think in Scottsdale. Basically, anything that doesn't sell in Nordstrom, or perhaps it got returned, it goes to Nordstrom Rack. From Nordstrom Rack, and after the clearance, it goes to Last Chance. A lot of the times you do find return designer items. I found a Laurel Piana there before. I have found Chloe. I found all kinds of crazy items. They're not as good as they used to be. They've jacked up the prices over the years, but I have found a lot of gems at Last Chance. So if you're ever in Chicago, or if you are ever in Arizona, Scottsdale, definitely go check it out. It's really a luck of the draw when you walk in to see if there are any goodies for you to snag. I would go on weekends, days, do not go on weekends. Anyways, so pick this up from Last Chance, and this is basically in new condition. I do have a number of raffia totes, and most of them, people who talk about raffia totes are like the Loewe or the Chloe, and they're usually in this massive cylinder, and it is pretty structured. So what MZ Wallace offers us in this raffia tote is actually pretty amazing because it is foldable, right? So here in Chicago, obviously we don't go to the beach. We go to, farmers markets. But if you're ever going on a beach vacation during the winter, obviously it's not in the Northern Hemisphere. You gotta go down south, go to Mexico. You wanna find a raffia tote that is packable, right? So you can see at the bottom here, it's just easily smushed together. They also have these nylon handles that are long enough for you to toss on your shoulders. And it's very, very comfortable because it is soft. So I do like that aspect of it. It is not a zipper tote, open compartment and one interior pocket, but they do include a pouch, which I know MZ Wallace love including pouches anywhere and everywhere. And it does have this little strap that is attached to it so that you can keep your valuables safe and not have it fall out. I was able to pick this up under $100. I know on their website it's probably around $200. Honestly, I think for you to spend $200-ish on a very well-designed bag, I think it's completely worth it. Don't spend the $500, the $600 as much as I would love a Loewe kind of raffia totes. I just don't think it's worth it, right? Even the designer ones that are really well constructed, I just don't think it's worth your money for you to spend that much money on something that is probably gonna crumble, right? Because I do have the Jacquemus one, but that is a very structured tote, whereas this one is much more malleable and much more functional. Okay, the last bag I want to go over is another indie brand that started back in 2019 by a designer named Jules, I'm completely butchering this, Stropnik, I think. And he's actually Slovenian and he resides in Milan, Italy. So I thought, I've been eyeballing this and I follow their Instagram page for quite a while. And I finally was able to pick this bag up, which is their, I think they only have 2 different designs, but it is called the Container Handbag. So again, I've been following them for quite a while. Of course, I get distracted by a million things that pop up on Instagram, but they are an indie brand that I've been really intrigued by. This one is kind of like a shoulder armpit bag because the strap is not adjustable. For me, it goes very comfortably across or along my arm. The inspiration behind this bag is the shipping containers, right? I did purchase the one in blue. As you can see, it's a very rich blue color. And if you go on their website, the designer and founder of this brand did name the different colors after different cities, which I thought was pretty fun. Very similar to Demilier, they name each of the bag a different city. So this one is Tokyo Blue. There is Brussels Chocolate. I don't know if I guess Brussels, are they known for chocolate? I don't know. Cairo Sand, which is like a beigey color. London Black. Miami White, which I thought that was kind of interesting because you would think that maybe you would say Miami Pink. I know F1 is all the rage right now, and they do have these hats that I was like, my boyfriend bought all of the different ones that have been released from F1, and they have Miami Pink, they have Tokyo Blue, yada yada, right? And I was like, why didn't you get me the F1 hat in hot pink? I would have liked that. Just saying, just saying. Anyway, so Miami White, I think they should have done Miami Pink, Paris Red, and Rome Olive. They also have the mini versions, a couple different iterations for you to choose from. And this particular one is the second iteration. Like I said, I've been following them for a while. They had the first version of it. I liked it, but I think the second one is much more refined with the border around here. And then of course, this texture right there where it does look like a shipping container. And just to give you a quick tour of the bag here, I do love my East-West style bags. I have my Savette one, and what else do I have? I think I have another one, but this East-West style is very deceiving, I wanna say, where it looks like a very small and compact petite bag. However, you get to put a lot of stuff in there. To talk a little bit about the rest of the bag here, on the back you can see it says container 00. You've got this gold bar on the top, which is very sophisticated in my opinion. The interior of the bag is opened by a magnet that is pretty strong. The interior is just an open compartment with one slip pocket, and on the slip pocket you can see it is, well, you can see, can you see? Embossed or debossed, I can never get that right, made in Italy. So overall, it is a very simple bag, but I think simplicity and the design itself can turn this bag into something that is incredibly elegant. I'm smelling the leather. It just smells amazing as well. So I've got leather here. I've got leather here that's just punching me in the face, and I am here for it. Looking at the stitching and the glazing, done incredibly well. Very well constructed bag. I do have some cons about this bag that I think that the designer Jewel can definitely improve on. The strap itself is not detachable. So it would have been nice if we can detach the strap here so that you can actually wear this as a clutch if you choose to. The other thing is that maybe make this bar across have a little bit more distance, I guess, like taller, so that you can actually wear it as a clutch. That looks pretty sophisticated, I think, very refined. You know, I always like to say, hey, you gotta include a back pocket, but this is a very petite bag. I don't think it needs a back pocket. If it were to have a back pocket, it would make it much bulkier, which I guess like, it wouldn't be horrible because it would look even more so like a shipping container, because you know how they're usually pretty wide. But if you look at the design of this bag, it is actually really well constructed. So you can see how the strap goes into the flap of the bag. However, you don't see the indentation here. That is, to me, again, a sign of high quality and very smart design. Now, like I said, if this strap was detachable, it would make this bag 10 out of 10. Maybe he can think about using this portion of it and then having some sort of hook on there. I don't know, but that would, again, give the bag a lot more functionality. One more critique I have is the gold foiling for the name Iuri, if I'm saying that correctly. It could have been done a little bit more precise. Obviously, I can't compare Hermes and an indie brand like this, but I'm used to, you know, the Hermes made in France. The gold foiling and stamping of Hermes bags is just incredibly crisp, very profound, and it just looks like perfection, right? Whereas this one, there's a little bit of fading, a little bit of bleeding. Maybe that's what they're going for in terms of the rustic look. If that's not what they're looking for, then I would say, let's make this a little bit more sharper, more crispy, so to speak, with the gold foiling. But overall, this bag costs 325 euros. I think that is a fantastic, reasonable price for a bag like this. Now, I hope to see Jewel come out with a lot more different models and more functionality. Since I filmed this video, he did release a crossbody version that also has a detachable strap, but it doesn't look like it is an adjustable strap. like a crossbody bag, again, with an adjustable strap, and different ideas being inspired by the containers. I think it's a fantastic, innovative way to design items. So that's pretty much it. I ramble on about a bunch of new stuff I added to my collection. And I think these are definitely pieces that I can use for years to come. So let me know what you think and drop a comment down below per usual. Let me know what you think about this bag. Life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and hopefully less than retail. I'll see you all next time.